like there's no tomorrow.
Welcome to the Big King Podcast.
Check. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, I have Kemal here with me. This is the third time you're here on the show, and last time. At least, who knows? Maybe I'll be around and I'll see you, and I'll grab you for another interview.
Yeah.
10 years later, who knows?
Hopefully.
Yeah, but how are you?
Good. Very good.
Yeah.
Very busy, but very good. How are you?
Last night was pretty big.
It was very big. Yeah.
Huge. I've never seen that many people like stacked into Absolute, and then afterwards, did you cry?
No.
No.
I made people cry.
Yeah, I saw.
No, actually, we had many more people who were planning to come, but they were quarantined.
Yeah.
And we had over 60 people leaving China since last November. So we could have had a lot more. Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
more.
So, I guess if for those of you that don't know, when's your last day?
Akagunduz.
Huh?
My last name or
Your last day.
my last day? I think 13th or 14th of December.
Okay, it's soon. It's coming up.
Yeah, gonna buy my ticket tomorrow.
Okay. You're gonna go home first, or are you going straight to Australia?
I'm going to Thailand first, Bangkok, for a week or two, and then I will go to Melbourne.
Just to do some training, or?
No, actually, I need to apply for my visa from there. I need to go to the embassy.
I see.
Yeah.
There's no embassy in China, or it's just too annoying.
They advised me to do it from there.
Gotcha. Understood. That makes sense. So you're one of the people that I love the most in jiu-jitsu, but also you're one of the people that loves jiu-jitsu the most. You've opened your own gym here. There's been I would say a lot of success. Why are we leaving?
I'm 35 years old now, and I really like training jiu-jitsu. I really like all the everything we had, all the gym, my students, my friends, whatever. But I miss few things. First, I miss having a coach.
Yeah.
Showing me, okay, maybe you should work on this, work on that. I miss training partners who can beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I miss traveling and competing.
Mm-hmm.
And this is only about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
There are other things. I
course.
want to see my family. I did not see my family for 5 years.
It's a long
I
time.
haven't left China since 2018. And yeah, I would like to actually, I would also like to have some change in my life, because I've been in China for 11 years and doing jiu-jitsu, teaching jiu-jitsu most of the time.
Yeah.
So I want to compete. I don't want to wait until I'm 45 and then leave China. Then it's much harder to compete. I would like to go to ADCC. So yeah, I got a job offer this year.
It's a great job offer.
I'm very
Fortunate.
Yeah, lucky to get that job offer, because I think that's one of the best possible job offers.
It's not easy to make a living on jiu-jitsu, right? I understand, I have a lot of friends here that are struggling right now. It's just jiu-jitsu is not an easy, I guess, place to be, make a living.
Yesterday, actually, I had a speech and I told everyone, we don't do this for money.
Yeah.
Because you need to be insane to do this for money. You do it for passion.
Yeah.
But because we are not money oriented, I'm just obsessed about jiu-jitsu, studying jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So if you just focus on improving, investing in yourself, and be a good person, I think you will make money from jiu-jitsu. Only then, It's very hard. It takes years of struggle.
Yeah. I want to go back a little bit. You said, I remember a while back, it was not just you. You had told me, but also Dean had told me that, I don't need a coach. I don't need heavy training partners, because I can learn online. And I was always very kind of are you sure? And you also hear that from a lot of high-end competitors, right? Mikey Musameshi also says, I teach my students how to beat me. I don't need people that are that much better than me. I don't buy it.
Well, it's not absolutely necessary, but it's like
It's good to have.
it's good to have.
Yeah.
You know, because like you don't really need a coach to be like I literally had no coach teaching me jiu-jitsu from white belt to black belt. I had some coaches, of course,
Sure.
but like never someone who's like really
On your case.
on
Yeah.
my case and telling me, look, you have problems here, there. Of course, here and there some people did help as well, but it was always myself, you know, like just like many other people in China.
Mm-hmm.
So
There's so much digital stuff out there that
yeah,
you can
there is
learn a lot.
but the thing is, you need to be smart to be able to learn from those. You need to be very careful as well, because it's like you can just browse on YouTube all day,
Yeah.
right? But you should be like laser sharp what you are working on, what you are studying, whatever. And for training partners, it's the same. You don't really have to have strong like guys who can like beat the shit out of you,
Mm-hmm.
but why not? If you
Good to
have,
have.
it's even better, you know.
Yeah.
Because for example, I believe the difficulty of your sparring sessions should be 85% of the time you should be successful at what you're trying to do,
Okay.
and fail 15% of the time. So that's like ideal ratio for you
Where are
to
you getting this number? Just off the top of your head.
No, I get it from Huberman.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I like Huberman.
Yeah,
Yeah. Andrew Huberman. It's
Andrew
good.
Huberman.
Right.
Yeah, because I read a lot about learning, and I always said, look, your roles shouldn't be, most of the time, shouldn't be with people who are much better than you.
Mm-hmm.
You should be like successful most of the time and fail some of the time.
Okay.
So yeah, I think. But sometimes, what about your defenses? You know,
Yeah.
like you want someone to expose your defense. Some like, if I have 10 killers, you know,
Yeah.
I don't have to train with them all the time. But when I learn something, I train with white belts, blue belts, purple belts. But before I go to competition, I need to test it against world-class guys too. Otherwise, how do you know we are not delusional?
How do you know if it works?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, scientists do that. You know, they ask other scientists, are there holes in my theory?
Yeah, or hackers.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Or but that makes sense to me, because you always sit there. I recently went to start boxing, okay? Sparring.
Mm-hmm.
I've done boxing since we've been at Absolute, and I've always just hit the bag. Did a little bit of very light sparring, and recently I started like an actual sparring class. Just go, and the coach is there with 6 to 8 of us, and she's just like, okay, go. And I got fucked up. Like, none of the combos that I thought worked on the bag work in real life. And I was
It's
like,
a complete different sport.
totally different. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, there are a million holes here. Like, why didn't anyone tell me this? Like, when you hit the bag, it looks good. The combo flows, everything's, and then you do the first 2 punches and get punched in the face. And you're like, oh, this combo doesn't actually work.
Yeah.
And all the holes are exposed. And you have to start all over again.
Yeah, that's why in Jiu-Jitsu you have technical drilling,
Yeah.
positional sparring,
Mm-hmm.
and free sparring.
Yeah.
So
it makes sense.
that's what separates Jiu-Jitsu from Aikido and some traditional sports,
Mm-hmm.
right? And in boxing as well, if you're only hitting the back, you will get good at hitting the back.
Correct. Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, that's something. You
Yeah.
get a little, you
Yeah.
get a sweat, you work out. It's fun.
Yeah, but if you come back to having a coach part,
Yeah.
maybe you may not need a coach to get good at jiu-jitsu, but having a coach, for example, you can even watch your coach teaching someone else. You can watch your coach rolling with someone else.
Yes.
Like for me, I learned so much from rolling people better than me, watching people who are better than me rolling with someone, and I'm like,
That's what
okay.
they're doing.
Like, you know, Kakashi from Naruto.
Yeah.
Like, you need to like, I used to tell my students, you need to steal shit. See something, I'm like, okay, that's my thing now.
Yeah.
Just write it down, drill it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that is also very good. If you're around people who are better than you, first of all, they will expose you,
Mhm.
okay, your weaknesses, and then you will see them having answers to questions that you don't have answers for,
Mhm.
and then it accelerates your learning
Yeah.
as well. So it's very good to have a good coach, even just to show you, like to tell you maybe you can work on this. That's it,
Mhm.
just to help out. Yeah.
But you haven't had a sit next to you coach for
Ever.
ever.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ever. And you've gotten pretty good.
Yeah.
So what's stopping everyone else from doing it? You said, oh, you have to be smart. I think you have to be smart at everything.
Like there are lawyers
Yeah.
and there are lawyers, right? For example,
I got you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
What's the difference for jiu-jitsu though?
it's about first how much time and effort you put into it, how important it is for you to get better. Like for example, there are so many football players, but there is one Cristiano Ronaldo, one Messi, and
Yeah.
you might argue saying like, oh, they're just so talented. But I guarantee you, there have been more talented people
Who just didn't care.
yeah, or
Yeah.
you never heard of. Like in Turkey, we have so many talented guys.
Yeah.
They've never made it.
Why didn't they make it?
Well, sometimes they get injured, sometimes life, like they are very poor, they have to go work, like something happens. And in jiu-jitsu as well, like not everyone is a full-time practitioner because it is very hard. You have to be either very rich or very poor,
I get that.
Either very rich or very poor, and you have to be obsessed about it. And you have to have kind of stoic mind. Like if you lose, if like you feel like shit, you come back, train, go home, figure out what you are doing wrong, do it again, like just you have to be very focused on actually getting good, not focused on like other things, because more you get good at jiu-jitsu, more distractions you will also have.
What do you mean?
Like you will feel like I'm the man.
Yeah.
Or I'm the man, like especially in China, Shanghai, some other cities, you will be like, yeah, I'm just so good.
I'm just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I made it. Today you said you have made it, you are dead actually. So you should always be hungry. You should always like really try to get better and better. And then to really be able to afford doing full-time jiu-jitsu, you'll probably have to teach, right?
Yeah.
And teaching takes a lot of energy too.
Yeah.
Like if you teach 2 hours a day, just group classes, and then you do 1 or 2 more private classes.
It's 4 hours already.
4 hours
Then you
already.
gotta train.
And you need to study.
Yeah.
You cannot just go and train. You need to study.
Okay.
If you do half an hour of studying a day, then you will have to do some drilling for like, let's say 45 minutes, and you will do another 45 to 1 hour sparring. But then you also need to spar with your students. They want to spar with you at noon and in the evening. So
it's another 2 hours out there already.
no, of course you can't. You don't have to. You can't. But there are so many things, and this is only about the teaching part. There is also a business part. There's your family, your relationships. So
it's rough.
It is actually rough. But at the same time, I don't see being a jiu-jitsu coach as a real job, to be honest. Why? Because I love jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I don't do it for money. If I had no money issues, I would just do jiu-jitsu all the time as well. So, and I've spent
it's a bonus.
years and years studying. So teaching is not really hard for me. And I like people. I'm very introverted, but I learned to like people, be around people.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a great job.
Yeah. I mean, you're doing what you love. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's the reason my podcast has gone so, I love talking to people. That's why I do this. And everyone's like, you spend so much time on it. You sit there and you edit and you do clips. And I'm like, yeah, but it's fun. I'd rather do this than sit and, do a PowerPoint. that sounds terrible.
Yeah,
You know,
it does,
like
yeah.
that's the worst thing. That's the last thing I want to do.
Yeah.
This, like, I get to talk to cool people. I get to talk to my friends, and then I put out content. And yeah, if I never needed money, I would just keep doing this.
Yeah.
This is great. And you found something that you love. That's
whatever
fantastic.
gives you fulfillment, right?
Right. So I had a question from a couple of the coaches here. I talked to a lot of the coaches and asked them what they would like to ask you. So the most requested was describe the China scene here, the China Jiu-Jitsu meta, and what advice you have for the coaches here. And I think that's a big topic. Like there's a lot to unpack there. So wherever you want to start.
Do we talk about the certain issue?
Up to you. If you want to talk about
pandemic?
it. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Because last time it was not allowed.
Yeah, now
Okay.
let's roll with it. I'm gonna put this on YouTube anyways.
Okay, so well, first of all, in China, sports generally are not very popular.
Correct.
And
it's getting better, but I think
for example, in Australia we have 3 gyms,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know how many members they have now, but before pandemic they had over 2,000 members in 3 gyms, and each
Wow.
gym is like 3 to 4 kilometers away from each other.
And still packed.
And Melbourne has population for like 4 or 5 million. In
crazy.
Shanghai, how many people?
It's about as much as all of Australia.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like there are 25, 30 million?
30 million was the last
30
I heard.
million
Yeah.
in people in Shanghai.
In Shanghai alone. Correct.
And I guarantee you there are a lot more jiu-jitsu gyms in Melbourne and so many more people training.
Yeah.
So first of all, the culture, like we don't have too many potential clients to start with.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
And what I would suggest to them is first invest in yourself. I believe in one thing. If you're a jiu-jitsu coach, if you just teach jiu-jitsu for a living, you have to be extremely good at it.
Mm-hmm.
By extremely good, I mean for your potential. You have to if your potential is here and your coaching level is here,
Mm-hmm.
just don't do that job.
Oh.
You
Yeah.
have to work every day to get better, and you have to follow the latest not inventions but latest meta.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to watch all other coaches, top coaches, what they do, what they teach, top athletes, what is the latest thing, and never ever get trapped in the current thing. For
Yeah.
example, the current thing was berimbolos when I started.
Yeah.
And I always saw it it's cool, but why is everybody doing only berimbolos?
Yeah.
There's so much to do.
Yeah.
And then I was called old school minded.
Mhm.
No, it's all about berimbolos, worm guards, spider guards, right? I'm like, guys, what about wrestling? What about nogi?
Yeah.
Why do you have to grab someone's clothing?
Yeah.
What if they don't have a jacket? What about you do MMA? What about you are coaching an MMA? And then it changed later. Back then we were doing leg locks.
Yeah.
In 2012, 13, and then later, Eddie Cummings and other guys in Danaher's team, they started doing leg locks. Of course, much more sophisticated than what we knew back then. And I started to study them as well. But then the leg lock meta started.
Yeah.
Then everyone wanted to leg locker.
Everyone was like, 50-50. That's all I want to learn.
Yeah. I just want to learn how to how to leg lock.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's very good. Guys, we were studying leg locks 2 years ago. Now I know it's the hot thing. Learn it. But if rest of your game is here and your leg locks are here, it's okay.
Yeah.
Don't make it your thing.
No.
Just pull everything else up as well. You need to be overly good.
You need to be complete.
You need to be a complete grappler.
Yeah.
We are not a leg locker. We are not a sweeper. We are not a passer. We are not a wrestler. So you need to be complete. You need to be very good at what you do, and you need to follow the bleeding edge of technical improvement. Like what is new? Follow the top coaches. Try to learn from them. and try to improve yourself. Don't just blindly follow tradition, you know. Like if you go to my gym, it's not a really traditional jiu-jitsu gym. We are pretty modern actually. I don't want to criticize, but I don't like bowing to dead people pictures, you know. I don't come from that background, and I'm someone that questions everything. You need to question everything, otherwise you fall into a dogmatic cult, and I really would like to avoid it, because we have a lot of dogmatic cults in my country.
Dude, there are cults everywhere.
Yeah,
it's wild.
So yeah, don't create a cult, especially if you become like the top guy in your city. It's
so easy to fall into that.
It's so tempting to become a cult leader, but don't do it, because then you stop improving. Then everyone around you stops criticizing, thinking, questioning. I teach all my students to just critique whatever I do. Like if I show you something, just because I showed you doesn't mean it has to be true. Maybe I'm just playing with you. Yeah. You know, you have to understand, not because the coach said that. Okay, ask me. If it's not working for you, you need to come and ask me. Right. So try to create an environment in your gym.
You know how hard that is in China, right? It's so hard. I've found that to be one of the most difficult parts of teaching in China. I teach swimming every once in a while, and even like coaching someone how to do rock climbing, just the basics. They just take it and they don't question, because the education system here has always been teacher is right, you're wrong, right? That's been the education system here. And then, you know, mom is right, you're wrong first. Or mom is right, you're wrong. And then teacher's right, you're wrong. Government or boss is right, you're wrong. You are never right here.
They figured everything out for you.
Right. And so it's very difficult for a lot of my Chinese friends to be like, are you sure? Like, I know you've been doing this longer than me. Are you sure? Never. It's very rare. And I like my friends that do that. My friends that are like, Arthur, like, that's not how I see it. Like, are you sure that's right? And I love just sitting there and talking to them, seeing their point of view, seeing my point of view. And I'm like, we usually meet somewhere in the middle. Like, we all move a little bit. But I don't get that a lot here. Like, and as a teacher here, I don't think a lot of the students will be like, hey, what's going on there?
Well, I think maybe I might have used the wrong word. Maybe not to criticize or look like critically, but try to understand, you know? Try to understand the knowing versus understanding. There's a difference in between, right? So when I teach you something, I try to give you the fundamentals, like the concept, so that will help you to understand, not just like repeat, right? So when you learn something, when you teach me how to do rock climbing, I try to understand, okay, why do I have a straight leg here? It's very similar to jiu-jitsu, so I don't put a lot of pressure on my muscles. So I use my skeletal like structure. Okay, so like I'm trying to understand when you're learning, teaching me too. So that's what I try to tell my students as well. Try to understand, not just learn.
I get that. And I think it's important for teachers to be a little bit also multifaceted. Like I think that if you are empathetic, like, oh, you come from this background, I did a little bit of that. Let me see if I can translate this to you in terms that you understand. Right? Like if I know that you love gaming, right? Like there are a lot of gamers, there are a lot of board gamers that love jiu-jitsu. It's very similar. And if you can try to get their state of mind in and use their language to teach something, it always works better. They get it a lot faster.
Or use football, basketball, at least some kind of sport they know. I use a lot, like when people play video games, I try to, like, I used to play World of Warcraft. And I tell them, look, you have this character, you have this talent tree. Jiu-jitsu is very similar to that, you know. Now I don't play it anymore, and my new addiction that I haven't been playing for over a year as
Okay.
well is League of Legends.
Oh God, it's
It's the best.
yeah, it's
Like,
so good.
I still watch it.
You still watch it, but you don't play it.
I don't play, but
Okay.
I watch it every day.
Jeez.
I love it.
Yeah, that's nuts. Why? Well, like, what attracts you to it?
I don't know. Because when I played World of Warcraft, after that, no video game really gave me the same hype.
Yeah.
I think I like the multiplayer thing,
Uh-huh.
like competing against other people.
Sure.
And League of Legends is just so much fun because
Uh-huh.
World of Warcraft is very good, but it requires you to grind all
Yeah.
the time. League of Legends, you just log in, pick a character, and
Go.
play. But
Yeah.
then you rely on another 4 people,
Correct.
and then
That's not you. Like, I don't see
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I don't see you liking that because you're so independent, and to depend on 4 other people that you might not know.
Oh man, I get banned all the time
Yeah.
because I just start.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's tough, and I think, that's something that I got this year. The last maybe year or two, I started depending a little bit more on my friends, and it makes your friendships closer, I think. And I know that it's not something that I used to love, because I'm like a control freak. Like I have to make sure but depending a little bit more on your friends, letting them in a little bit closer, and even if they fuck up, you're just like, you know what? That's all right, man.
Yeah.
And that shit, in the beginning, killed me. And now I'm like, oh, I think it's made me somehow a better person.
Yeah, I
yeah.
agree. But you have to have it in business anyway.
Yeah, that's
to have
true.
for me,
Correct.
I might be independent, but I'm also a team player. I
Mhm.
really believe in teamwork.
Oh, I was never.
I do, because you cannot do everything by yourself.
Correct.
I have a great team right now.
Yeah.
I have an amazing team. And
Mhm.
like first time I have an amazing team, and we do a great job with our new online school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy. That's what I learned actually in
Yeah?
China. Like work with good people.
Mm-hmm. Is that something that you got because you were always so independent in your learning, and why not just help everyone out and put out, what's it called? Method Jiu-Jitsu?
Method Online
Uh-huh.
Grappling Academy.
Okay. Where do you
We
find
call
it?
it Method.
Okay.
So it's a WeChat Mini-Program.
Okay.
We will release it around January.
Okay.
We have filmed over 30 courses.
It's wild.
Each is around 1 hour long.
So at least 30 hours of...
At least 30 hours.
Yeah.
And we will have a new course added every 2 weeks.
Okay.
And we will have another section of other videos. There will be a lot of sparring sessions of
Uh-huh.
mine, Joseph, and some of the top coaches in China. We are going to have discussions about techniques, technical breakdowns,
Nice.
competition breakdowns, seminars, and we will also have another section like BJJ Fanatics.
Mm-hmm.
We are filming instructional videos of top coaches in China, and we will be selling them separately.
It's a lot.
Yeah, but the other part where the people can watch my thing will be a subscription-based
Uh-huh.
service.
So how much is it going to be monthly? Do you know yet?
Yeah, it's gonna be like, for example, if you buy 3 months, it's gonna be $499.
Okay.
So it's not gonna be very expensive. Like 1 year is gonna be around $1,499.
Okay.
Yeah, around like 130 whatever a month, less than 150
Right.
a month.
Is that what the going rate is nowadays? I have no idea.
Well, there is nothing like this
I mean,
in China.
okay.
In Chinese.
Yeah.
Ours is only in Chinese.
Oh, it's all in Chinese.
It's all in Chinese.
Your Chinese.
My Chinese.
How's that
It's
work
good.
out?
We have
Yeah.
subtitles as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
All courses have subtitles.
Uh-huh.
And like it's also very good design because, for example, like I watch a lot of Marcelo Garcia,
Yeah.
MG in action.
Yep.
It was mostly random videos from his classes, but
Correct.
good structured. And there's like Keenan online,
Yeah.
there is Ribeiro online, that. But I think the best is Lachlan Giles' website,
Mhm.
submeta.io. If you speak English, I think that's the best place to learn Jiu-Jitsu.
Really?
It's amazing. It's super nice, categorized, like everything structured,
Mm-hmm.
and he's an amazing coach.
Yeah.
So our website is very similar to his actually, rather than like MG in action. There's also Grappler's Guide, very old website. It's like a forum. Ours is something in between Grappler's Guide, Marcelo in action, and Lachlan Giles. Yeah, it's very good because you can, for example, you want to study side control escape.
Yeah.
You click the side control escape course. It's not a 2 hours video. Like that 1 hour is separated into 23 minutes videos. So you can choose like, okay, underhook escape. You click, and then there are like 5 videos, boom, boom, boom. So it's very easy to navigate, and all in Chinese. Because I didn't want to do anything in English, because if like people here can watch English, they're already watching Danaher, Lachlan Giles. So we have to have some advantage. So we are in Chinese. We are right on their WeChat, and very easy to navigate. You don't have to watch like an 8-hour DVD, and you can always go back and find whatever you want to watch again.
Yeah. I remember the last time you came, you had talked about leveling up in pieces, in systems, right? You level up this system, and then you move on. You level up another system. And to me, that changed me quite a bit, right? Just focus on this piece. When you get quite good at this, and you see this, I guess, system, then you can move on to your next system. And that made a lot of sense to me. And I still think largely in systems. Like, I'm here in this system, this is what I can use, whether it be butterfly guard or whatever. And I get that. And that's how you're setting up your website, kind of in situations. Yeah.
For example, there's actually a course over there. I teach how to learn jiu-jitsu, but it's actually how to learn anything.
Life.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I told you I don't think anyone's going to watch that one.
Yeah, nobody's going to watch it.
No one's, and that's important.
That's the most important thing you need to watch.
That's super important. And I don't think anyone's going to watch it.
Because the most important thing, I always tell my students, most important thing a coach can teach you is learning how to learn.
Correct.
So I really try to teach all my students how they can learn by themselves.
Right.
Like when Xiaoxin got his black belt, he said the same thing. Kemal taught me how to learn by myself.
Correct.
Like when they say, don't give a man a fish, teach him how to catch a fish, right? So whoever comes and trains with me, I always tell them, look, you need to go this direction.
Yeah.
I tell them, you are doing too much of this. You have these holes in your game.
Yeah.
You have to go that direction, and I don't have time to teach you all of this, but you can watch these instructionals. We are in China. Everything's free.
Everything's free. I've got a ton of DVDs.
Yeah. So I think that's the job of a coach for serious athletes. For example, we have our own curriculum, right? You will never be a world-class athlete just by joining classes. Because doesn't matter whose classes you are doing. It's just like Monday, let's say you go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. One time it's gi, one time it's no gi. And then the coach needs to separate the weekly topic into 2-3 parts.
Yep.
And then if you miss one of them,
you're missing a part.
You are missing a part.
Correct.
And then even if you are not missing a part, you can just watch it once in the class, right? So when I was coming up, I was like, okay, whatever my coach is teaching when I go to the class, it's supplement to me. My main learning is what I watch at home. Yeah. And my main focus this month is exactly this.
Gotcha.
And I have exact homework. I'm working on this topic. This DVD has 21 videos, let's say. This week I'm only focusing on 7 of these. And I'm gonna just drill these 7 moves, do positional sparring, and when I'm sparring, this whole thing, I don't care if they pass me, submit me, whatever. Yeah. When I'm on top, I'm doing this. Right. And if anything else happens, it's okay. I will take a note. Later, I can go back. Right. But right now, I'm just focused on this. I remember I had a month. I said, I'm just going to do Kimura to everybody. Yeah. No other submissions are allowed. And then my Kimura level went just way up. And another, I'm just going to do attacking the neck. I'm just going to attack people's neck. Next month, only omoplata. Yeah. You don't have to do it extreme like a month. But when I did this learning how to learn course. At the end, I summarize it to 5 advices.
Okay.
I don't know if I can remember all of them,
No problem.
but first of
I
them,
hope you guys all go watch it, by the way.
yeah, first of them is focus.
Yeah.
Just like I just summarized, you have to focus on some stuff. You cannot just one day learn 2 moves from side control bottom, and next day learn how to finish omoplata.
Yeah.
Focus on something.
That's a mess.
Yeah. Second thing, you need to, of course, like practice it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you need feedback mechanism. And that feedback mechanism is positional sparring or free sparring,
Okay.
right? Especially positional sparring, because if I'm working on side control escape, I want to spend as much time there as possible.
Correct.
And after I can't remember now.
No problem.
Like,
but even let's even go to getting the feedback's difficult for me. Because I like feedback. To be fair, I'm spoiled. I like it from my coach, right? I like my coach to be like, why aren't you throwing your knee inside? You know.
but that's extra. That's a plus. Your coach has another 20 people or 10 people, whatever, to watch.
Yeah.
And God knows whatever he's thinking.
Yeah.
You know, that time maybe he ate too much that day and it's like, I just want to go home.
I just want to go home. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to be your own. You only can rely on yourself.
Yeah.
Because you might be doing free sparring, okay, then your coach doesn't know what you're working on, and maybe
Right.
he's looking at someone else, maybe he's talking to the front desk guy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know.
You don't know, right?
So your feedback will only come from your own sparring. You'll be like, okay, I tried this move. In video, he was saying this, but when I do this, he said does. My opponent does this. Then boom, you're already getting better.
Yeah.
You find something. You find the hole. That's the thing. Your goal is to find the hole, and just fix it.
Right.
And never get caught with the same thing twice.
Yeah.
So that's how like people get good.
Mm-hmm. That's tough because, and I like training with my partners like that. Like if I'm passing your guard, I'll back up and I'll pass your guard the exact same way the second time, and maybe a third time, until they're like, hey, like, why do you keep doing that to me? I'm like, well, you just keep letting me pass that way, so I'm just gonna keep doing it until you get it.
In Turkey, we say if you're a donkey,
Yeah.
many people will ride you, you know?
Because I think that's important for your classmates. You know, as your training partner, I would also like to, like, if I see a hole, like, I'm just gonna keep going at it until you figure out, hey, how do I fix that? And hopefully, my more introverted friends are like, how do I stop you from doing this? Because this is terrible for me right now.
But this is also an answer to your question.
Mm-hmm.
Why? What differentiates people who get better and who don't? Like some people, you will do that pass once and they will ask you, hey,
Yeah.
how can I stop it? Or
Right.
go to the coach, how can I stop this? And some you will just pass them 5 times.
Never say anything.
Never.
Yeah.
And they will be like, and this is one of those 5.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have fixed mindset, have growth mindset, right? And be competitive. Like if someone passes my guard, that I love that guy.
Mm-hmm.
If someone passes my guard, I'm like, I love this guy. Thank you very much. I learned something. But
Yeah.
you can also be like, I hate this guy. Why I lose face because of this guy.
Yeah.
Like you will see, like in my gym, I get tapped sometimes, and like if someone
I heard
really
by Mario once.
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 No, it was not a tap. Yesterday I said that, right?
Yeah.
Because like I passed him, and then he had this guillotine on
Yeah.
me, and I told him, Mario, it's over, okay?
Yeah.
He was hugging my arm,
Yeah.
actually head. It was not over actually, but I told him, okay, it's over, because he only had one hand.
Uh-huh.
Then he put the other
Nice.
hand in here when I was talking to him, and he tapped me, and I said, okay, you kind of tapped me.
You kind of got it.
Mario is very good now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that why he got his purple belt?
Yeah.
Really? He's been training a lot? I haven't
He's been
hung out
training.
with him.
Actually, he's working at the gym now.
Yeah, no, I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
congratulations.
He has been training a lot, yeah.
Uh-huh.
But I told him, and Reed told him too, he improved so much actually recently. So I can see, I'm not blind when I see like people, if they have a system rather than just one move, 2 moves,
Yeah.
I can see it, you
Mhm.
know. So I told him, man, you have a good like attacking the neck system actually, and then I try to tell him do this, do this, do this. Yeah, I think that's the job of the coach actually. Yeah.
Just to push them in the right direction.
Yeah, because that's what I was asking my coaches before. Like whenever I train with a black belt, I said, "Can you give me any feedback?
Yeah.
Where should I go?" And they tell me, "Yeah, maybe you should work on this." Thank you. That's it.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
No, I mean, I love that. Like, whenever I roll with a coach, I always ask, hey, what can I improve? Like, what am I doing wrong? After every session, I ask, because I think even if the person isn't as good as me, I ask, like, hey, like, how did you feel after that? Like, anything that, you think you could have gotten or I should have done better? Like, it's just good to get feedback. And I always feel like I lack that. So I always crave more feedback, actually.
But you should have your own
system
and do this. For example, you need to write down, okay, these are my weaknesses, and you need to prioritize what is my biggest weakness.
Yeah.
And then you start working on it, and then you reevaluate. You don't go, okay, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. When you finish 1, you don't go to 2. You reevaluate. You see what is 1 now. Maybe number 2 is no longer number 2. You know, like, because each time you improve a system, your overall grappler level also improves, and you see more. And then you say, actually, I like this, I like that. Yeah. So cool. Then this way you will be very busy anyway. So you won't really have to ask people that often.
That's good advice. I haven't thought about it that way, because I always find that I learn better just from talking to people. I mean, it's part of why I do this. And so I always try to get as much advice as possible. Like, even in my job, like, I enjoy part of my job just because I get to talk to the client. I'm like, hey, what do you think of our platform? Hey, did you enjoy this new feature that we put out? And I learn more just from talking to people.
That's very nice.
Yeah, and that always makes me happier. So that's part of how I learn. But it is important to have my own system and be like, hey, is this actually? I mean, because the client might be lying to you.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know, right?
Yeah.
So it's good to have your own kind of, I guess, criteria.
And you can always test it.
Yeah.
And one more thing, you should write everything down.
I never write stuff down.
You have to write stuff. Because if I keep so many things in my mind, and then I notice I can't sleep at night. I just can't sleep.
Yeah.
And then I started to write everything down.
And it's
I have a folder, GTD, get things done.
Yeah.
I write everything there, daily, weekly, whatever, even like grocery, whatever.
Right.
I write everything down. In Jiu-Jitsu, it's extremely important to write down.
Yeah?
Yeah, whenever I learn something that I think is very important and will make me a better grappler, I add parentheses, GEM, close parentheses, like a gem. It's a gem.
Oh, gem. Gotcha.
It's a gem. Like, don't fucking sleep on this.
Right.
Learn this, add this. You should always go after the 1% thing. That will make you 1% better.
Yeah.
Because you will never learn something that will make you 30% better. It's all about 1%. And you should always go after these things. And maybe if like, I'm not talking about like a fresh beginner.
Okay.
Like if you've been training, if you're a purple belt, you're not gonna get 30% better.
Impossible.
Yeah. But 1%, it is very possible.
Cool. That's really intuitive. I want to go into memories because I feel like that's what everyone wants to hear. Best memories that you've had here. What are, biggest accomplishments, best memories?
I think, to be very honest, I don't have bad memories right now.
You don't?
I don't have any.
Not a single one?
No. Because I don't believe in good and evil. I don't believe there is evil. I believe everything works for our
journey, our growth.
Yes, exactly. Growth. Because the things you call bad,
they were opportunities.
They were actually opportunities, and they grow you. Like, I
agree with that.
I was talking to my friend. He was having a lot of issues. I said, like, you are very fortunate. When you become successful, you will remember all these days and all these lessons. So, like, whenever you have stress, it's actually, if you are smart and you can learn from it, it actually makes you a better person. Yeah. So like there are chapters in life, and I think my chapter of my life in Shanghai really like made me improve and learn.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate everything. Everything is good. Everything. I don't. There is nothing in my life I look back and I say, "Oh, this was terrible." You know, like
Yeah.
other than losing someone.
Uh-huh.
You know. So I think whatever happened, I think it's very important, and I learned a lot from everything,
Yeah.
and it made me
Better.
better. Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird because I think the same way, but I have teammates. I have swimmer friends that they look back at, our years of swimming, they hate it. They're just like, I never want to get into a pool again because they were only bad memories. And I can't think of a single bad memory. Like, I remember puking next to the pool. I remember, just getting yelled at, getting kickboards thrown in my head. I can't think of none of them bring up like a bad memory. I was like, yeah, we went through that shit, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Like, I grew from it. I got faster. Like, who gives a shit, right?
Can I show you a picture from
Yeah.
my phone?
Go for it.
Actually, my friend and my business partner Alex
Uh-huh.
from Method
Okay.
Online, he's the new owner of our gym.
Okay.
And then they did a renovation, and then they added one logo on the wall, which I really love. It's a snail climbing the mountain Fuji.
Oh, that's cute. I like that. That's awesome.
So
Who designed it?
Actually, Alex designed it,
Uh-huh.
my partner, or he did designed,
Yeah.
but it's from a book. All snail climb mountain Fuji, but slowly.
Yeah.
So I asked him what it means, and he told me it's about a snail spends all its life climbing the mountain,
Uh-huh.
and all his goal was like just reaching there. And
Yeah.
the snail thought the life is all about reaching the top.
It's never about
And then it reaches the top and sees there are thousands of snails just like him, and
Yeah.
it's nothing important. So many of them are there already before him,
Right.
and he realizes, wow, it was actually all those struggles were actually the nicest times of my life.
The
you
journey
know?
is so important.
It's extremely important.
Yeah.
Like, you think something is bad, but actually it might be very good for you, and you think something is good, it might be not as good as you expected, or I don't know, it all serves the one thing, our improvement of our consciousness.
Sure.
That's what I believe.
Yeah.
Like, I look at it more spiritually.
But there's a degree. There are degrees to this, right? Because I was also at a job that I hated at some point. And I hated that job from the first month. I knew within the first month that I was like, I can't be here. And all of my friends, my dad, they were all like, nah, keep going. It'll teach you something. I can't say it didn't teach me shit. It taught me a little bit.
But he told you
But
you
I-
don't like this.
But I fucking hate it. And I knew it from like day 30. And I went 6 months. I went almost a year, actually. I was almost there a full year before I was like, I can't take this anymore. And I knew really early. And I didn't listen to myself. I listened to everyone else, but I knew.
But did it teach you actually you should listen to yourself?
Yes, correct. That's the only thing.
Maybe it will save you from another mistake like that.
It's possible.
You know?
Yeah. Because I knew in my gut, I was like, this isn't for me. Like, this is everything that I hate. I don't really like my coworkers, which is rare because I usually like everyone. And I was just like, I don't know if I can stay here. And I stuck it out for an additional year. Like, not a year, but close to a year. And I shouldn't have. And I guess the only thing I got out of it was like, yeah, you should listen to yourself. Because you got to get out early sometimes. Like, you think that there are more lessons down this road, but maybe it'll kill you.
No,
Like,
of course. Like, I'm not saying if you are working somewhere that you don't like, you should just work there all your life because you don't.
because
like,
that's the journey. Like, that might not be the journey.
No,
right?
but maybe that's the part of the journey that teaches you just find what gives you fulfillment.
That's true.
Rather than
Yeah.
what everyone else tells you
Correct.
to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know there are no bad memories. What are the best memories? Some of the best things. Like shining moments that you were like, fuck, yes. It
Well,
has to be.
like one day I was sitting on a pavement
Yeah.
without a gym
Yeah.
because I had to leave the gym I was training,
Yeah.
and I cried because jiu-jitsu was my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, I'm gonna start the best jiu-jitsu gym in China,
Yeah.
Asia,
Mhm.
actually. And I did it.
And then 10 years later,
And then yesterday me and Reed, we promoted my first black belt,
Mhm.
Xiaoxing.
Yeah.
I know him from white belt,
From
his
day one.
first day one,
Yeah.
to like his black belt.
He's got his own gym out in Minhang. He's doing
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, and then yesterday my students actually made a video, like a goodbye video
Yeah,
for me. It
I heard
took
about it.
16 minutes, and only like 40 more people were supposed to send videos. It
Yeah.
just wasn't ready on time.
Right.
And then best memories is I've got to meet this many cool people.
Mm-hmm.
I have taught them jiu-jitsu. They've taught me something, and I have friends all around the world, and just I don't know. My dream was to become a phenomenal jiu-jitsu. When I was a white belt, I told Yunus from Shanghai WeChat.
Yeah.
He asked me my goal. I said I want to be a phenomenal black belt,
Yeah.
not a black belt.
Uh,
And he told me years later. I said this guy is not gonna last long.
yeah.
Because I told him, I know how to learn things,
Mhm.
and I already know how I'm gonna learn jiu-jitsu. I've broken it down to pieces,
Yeah.
and I have a plan, and I have downloaded DVDs. All I need to start training at this gym.
Right.
I was like obsessed.
Right.
So
If someone came up to you and said that right now, what would you?
I will say this guy is fucked
Bullshit.
up. No, you have to be crazy.
Mhm.
Like when I was leaving Turkey, my father was pretty wealthy. He told me, "Don't go. I will buy you an apartment and
Yeah.
a BMW." I
I think
said,
you've told me that once.
"Yeah." I said, "I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You
I wanna
can
go to
buy me
China.
10 BMWs."
Right.
I said, "I want to learn Chinese, okay?"
Oh, that's right.
I want to learn Chinese.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care about anything materialistic. Like
Mhm.
I don't care. I just wanted to get good at this. Yeah.
I mean, I think, to be honest, I think that's why jiu-jitsu, I know this is a little bit off topic. I think that's why jiu-jitsu is not popular here. Like, I think it's too real for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, there's too much getting submitted. There's too much problems with what they are in their head than what actually happens.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can't take it. Like, I remember my first time, I couldn't take it.
Black belts can't take it.
Yeah.
You know how many times I've seen brown belts, black belts storming out, crying,
Yeah.
yelling, fighting. I was laughing all the time.
Dude, it hurts.
Yeah.
I can imagine. You put all of your life into this, and you're like, oh, it's bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
a big part of this was bullshit. That's crazy. That hurts. That ruins some people.
Well, I don't know, it doesn't ruin me
Mm-hmm.
because, for example, we have Joseph,
Yeah.
who is super famous now,
Correct.
right? So he was training with us for a year.
Right. I remember.
I don't remember beating him at all.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
He's so fucking good.
That's good.
But I know him since he was 13
Mhm.
or 12, and when I saw him in 13, I told him this guy is gonna be world class.
Yeah.
And then
He's 18 now. He's like
18
amazing.
now. He will murder me.
Yeah.
And like I'm very happy, and like when I trained with him, I remember like before he left,
Mhm.
I was injured for a very long time, but when I was rolling with him, I think I passed his guard once,
Mm-hmm.
and then I never submitted him,
Yeah.
and I never swept him. I think it was like I was like, oh my god, this kid is extremely good.
Yeah. And he got a lot of his coaching, I mean, from Nanjing as well. But like he learned a lot on his own too.
I think Will in Nanjing,
Yeah.
he's very smart.
Yeah.
He has very good jiu-jitsu.
Correct.
And of course he taught Joseph too,
Mhm.
but I think most of his jiu-jitsu he learned by himself.
Yeah.
He's like little John Danaher.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's the trend here for China? Because
It's the only option.
that's
well,
hard.
look,
That's tough.
That's how, look, that's how
That's
I
tough to
learned
hear.
jiu-jitsu too. Like
Yeah.
I just, why should I, if I have the opportunity to learn from Marcelo Garcia back then,
Mm-hmm.
why should I not do it?
Yeah.
I have a picture studying Marcelo Garcia at work.
Yeah.
You know, like why if John Danaher is the best jiu-jitsu coach in the world right now.
Correct.
So if you have his videos in your pocket and you're not watching it, you're stupid. Unless you don't care. You know,
Right.
if you care, you want to get good, because you can learn from me, but I'm not in your pocket all the time, right?
And
You
you're not
can-
John Danaher.
I'm not John Danaher
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
I'm your coach. And you can always, like, whenever in the coach, I will help you. You can ask me questions, but you can't ask to John Danaher, right?
Correct.
But you can ask me questions. You can go home, watch Danaher, and whatever you don't understand, come and ask me.
Right.
And then try things. When they don't work, ask me. When I tell you what to work on, go home and keep watching. Because I'm not going to teach you all these things. You know, even if you buy private classes, I don't have that much time, that much energy.
Right.
Right? So I think it's the only option. If you want to get better, you need to be your own coach.
Mm-hmm. And that's tough here because I think I'm spoiled. Like I've said before, I'm spoiled. I prefer just to get everything from my coach. And I also agree. I don't think it's enough.
But jiu-jitsu is not your number one priority.
Correct.
For
It's-
Joseph, Xiaoxing, Xiaoshu,
Yeah.
another guy I have, I don't know if you know him,
Yes.
super good as
Mhm.
well. For them, it's the
That's
number
life.
one priority. Yeah?
Yeah.
They have to get good every day. They have to get better.
Mhm.
So it's different.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's their job. It's their life. It's their
Yeah.
livelihood.
Yeah.
Right? I think if you're at that level, you have to find other options. You know, and it's hard to find here. You know? But I don't think, is it easier back in the States or in Australia? Like, there are so many gyms. Like, even there, how do you choose?
How did Craig Jones learn jiu-jitsu?
I have no idea. I don't know anything
How
about
did
the gyms.
Craig Jones learn leg locking? Just watching YouTube videos.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what he says?
Yeah. I know as a fact. That's
Yeah.
how he learned. Because
That's wild.
he was gonna do ADCC, and Tonkinho,
Yeah.
Palhares was in his group,
Yeah.
and then he was scared. Then
Of
he
course,
just
everyone
started
was.
watching Eddie Cummings,
Yeah.
and then just started learning in Australia with Lachlan Giles.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the best guys in the world get good this way too. you
Yeah.
know. He's one of the best. Lachlan Giles is one of the best as
Yeah.
well. Not everybody is like Gordon Ryan training with John
The
Danaher,
best, right.
Gary Tonnen.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any advice for blue belt and purple belt guys that want to open gyms? Cause
Don't.
don't. Wow. Wow.
It's very hard. I don't know like the reason. If you have a full-time job and there is no gym for you to train at,
Mhm.
yeah, you can open your own gym. Or if you're rich and you don't mind if you lose some, if you're not gonna make a living out of the gym,
Yeah.
it's okay. But if you think I'm gonna open a gym and I'm gonna make good money from it, then you will probably be disappointed soon, because it is very hard to make money. You can have some salary, but you need to work your ass off too.
Right.
It takes years. So you should prepare. I have given some advice to people who open gyms. I told them, prepare not making any money for at least 1 year to 3 years.
Right. 1 to 3 is about reasonable.
If you have enough money to run the gym without getting any salary for 1 to 3 years, do it. But if it's your full-time job, then good luck,
Right.
because you stop enjoying jiu-jitsu.
That's my next question, because that happened to me, right? I remember coaching swimming, and then all of a sudden I realized I don't like this anymore, right? I wasn't swimming as much on my own. I didn't have as much time to kind of work on what I wanted to work on, because I had to help out everyone else. I realized later that I was improving on my own.
Yeah.
Because after teaching, you do improve, right? You learn how to learn, because people ask you weird questions that you've never thought of. And you're like, oh, I should think about that. And you do improve. But that's mentally. And like physically, I just wasn't enjoying swimming as much because I was teaching it. And after that, again, I started swimming just for fun. And I realized how much I love it.
Yeah.
And just doing something that you love for fun is just so much more enjoyable. So sometimes you wonder like, oh, all these people love jiu-jitsu. They want to put their whole life into it. But isn't it sometimes just more fun just to go train with your friends? Like a little bit.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, to be very honest, only reason I teach jiu-jitsu because I want to train.
Yeah.
And I need money to survive. That's
Right.
why it's not like I love teaching jiu-jitsu.
Right.
Before, actually, I didn't really like teaching at all.
Mm.
But then I noticed teaching actually helps me to learn.
Correct.
And then I started to teach more, and I needed the money.
Mm-hmm.
There are two factors. One is when you have financial issues, nothing gives you that much fun anymore. You can't enjoy anything.
Right.
You know?
You're always stressed
if you open a jiu-jitsu gym and you don't have other income, you will have financial issues.
Yeah.
So you won't really be able to enjoy jiu-jitsu that much because you will be thinking about paying the rent, this, that.
Yeah.
And then other thing is, like, you want to train, but you also need to teach 3 to 4 hours. I used to teach 3, 4, 5 hours a day. You know, like last year when I really needed money, I was teaching like 2 private classes, 3 private classes a day.
Yeah.
And then I was like, in the evening, my eyes were like this. I teach and people ask me to roll. I'm like,
No, I can't.
Fuck jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like, I just need to go and sleep,
Mhm.
you know? So, again, if someone wants to open a jiu-jitsu gym, they need to think about how they are going to survive, you know? Because so many gyms have failed.
Yeah.
So many. Not everyone is crazy like me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm like, okay, I'm not making any. I was spending money from my own pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And then I worked, when we opened Absolute MMA first, I was making 5,000 RMB a month.
Jeez, it's nothing.
I was spending
In
2,000
Shanghai, yeah.
2,000 for rent. I used to live with my
Yeah.
girlfriend back then. And then I just had 3,000 RMB,
Mm-hmm.
1 coffee a day.
Yeah.
1,000 is gone.
Yeah.
For 2,000, I was cooking every day at home,
Mhm.
every day. But I didn't care
Yeah.
because I was like, I was not even taking more classes because I'm like, no, if I teach more, I can't train.
I can't train. Correct.
For me, priority is training. I was only like 28, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to get better. I'm not there yet. I'm still not there. That's why, like, I could have made a lot more money. I could have taught all the classes in the gym myself
Right.
and made money, but I wouldn't be where I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, I will make less money, but I'm gonna get as good as possible. So if they don't mind making not enough money, if they don't mind it, it's
Mhm.
okay. But make sure, if you don't have so much money, make sure you are very good, and make sure there's something called positioning in business. When you start a new business,
Yeah.
what is your positioning? What are
Yeah.
your advantages? You know,
Correct.
you need to think about that. If you leave a gym that's the most popular gym in the city,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to open a gym, you need to say, okay, what am I going to offer that this
They
gym does
can't.
not? Yeah.
Correct.
So what is it? Needs to be 2 or 3 things, whatever. Then you can take
Mhm.
students. But if you have never done business in your life, you go to a restaurant, that's a Turkish thing. There are 50 tables here. If table has 4 people, 200 people. If 600 people eats a day, if they leave this much money, the rent is there. Good, we can open a restaurant too.
terrible idea.
It's a terrible idea, but
terrible
it's
idea.
the same.
Yeah.
They like so many times people come to my gym, they see 30 people on the mat, 20 people on the mat. Yeah,
Yep.
these guys, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Just like there's one guy in the front desk, another guy teaching.
That's
Anybody can teach
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu, you know? And
Yeah.
then they open a gym and like then boom, failure.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sad.
That's the big problem. That's one of the problems that I see in China, right? I see a lot of people, when something gets kind of hot, everyone tries to do it. It dilutes the entire, I guess, environment. And then it's harder to make money for everyone. And then a bunch of people leave. And everyone that's kind of into fitness has a bad taste in their mouth because they went to a gym that didn't know what they were doing.
How many gyms have you seen going
Open and close.
bankrupt?
So many.
So
So many, especially last year. Like, it's just close. Of course, a couple of gyms have done quite well. Ocean and Voyager, they're doing okay. Shanghai BJJ has been around.
Yeah, Ocean and Voyager, they are mostly Shanghainese,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
They
They
that's
have
their
their
positioning,
demographic.
right?
Correct.
We speak Shanghainese.
Yep.
We keep we help each other. We are friends.
Yep.
So that's a good point.
It's not bad.
And they separated from Shanghai BJJ, and they
Correct.
have taken many people from Shanghai
Correct.
BJJ too. So that's at least you can say okay. And Richard is
Mm-hmm.
like their coach. So
Yeah.
that's positioning.
Yeah.
You know, we offer something that they don't.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
Right.
Maybe that is why.
Maybe.
It's not magic. There must be reasons why some people are failing and some are not.
Yeah. But, I mean, there's some that are doing great, or they're doing okay. No one's doing great. I think everyone's just doing okay right now. Especially in this-
after 3
Right.
months lockdown.
Correct.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Lockdown was great for me.
Lockdown was good for a lot of people, actually. Three months of lockdown, everyone wants to get out and do stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone was so sick of being at home.
Yeah.
I was just rock climbing. That place was packed. Like, it was almost impossible to get on the wall. Just packed. There was two kids classes in the corner, a bunch of coaches running around doing privates. It's coming back, but also people are getting locked down all the time. Like, you know, I have a bunch of friends in Shanghai that are like, I can't come today. I'm locked down. Like, it's a mess.
Yeah.
So it's hard to kind of, and I still have people that are coming up to me and being like, oh, I want to open a coffee shop. I was like, that's a terrible idea. Like, I don't want to do that. Why would I want to open something in this climate right now? It's wild.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to tell these people. Like, I think they're all seeing that there's opportunity, that people want to get out, but there's also so much risk right now.
That there's also this. For example, I used to work with my father. He used to buy suitcases, backpacks from China and
Sure.
sell in Turkey, but he comes from that background. He
Mhm.
had like 30 years of experience.
Sure.
And then some other people in the city, they had a lot of money from doing something else.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, these guys who import suitcases, they make good money. And then they started to go to China by themselves,
Yeah.
buying shitty suitcases, bringing them and losing so much money.
Yeah.
Like, it's always the same thing. They see, oh, these people can do it. Why not?
Can't I?
But do you have
Any experience.
any experience?
Yeah.
Do you have any experience in teaching jiu-jitsu?
Mhm.
Do you have any experience in doing business in China?
Yeah.
Like, it's there are a lot of questions. you
Yeah.
know?
Okay, last question before we go. And it's really about the environment here. And it's a personal question. That's why I put it for last. I always feel like I wasted my first 2 years of jiu-jitsu. I wasted it because, and I see it now in everything else that I do. It's just getting more obvious. I got attracted to jiu-jitsu because I saw people doing crazy shit, right? Like weird submissions, and I was like, that's all I want to do. I want to do the super impossible, cool thing that no one else knows about, and that's what I want to do. And I never learned the basics. And I spent my whole first 2 years just being like, I just want to do cool submissions. I don't want to learn any of the other bullshit. Like, that's not important to me. And then I started seeing it in climbing. I started seeing it in boxing. And people want to throw these wild punches or, you know, jump from here to there. And I was like, yeah, but you don't know any of the basics. You just want to do this one cool thing that'll get you up that wall. You can put it on Xiaohongshu and get clicks and likes. And that's everywhere now. That's everything that I've touched recently. How do you get people to do the basics? How do you get people to be like, nah, that doesn't get people in the door. Like, what gets people in the door? The cool, flashy shit.
Like, I have this Bilibili, like Chinese YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I put like a very useful concept over there, how to learn jiu-jitsu or like this concept, that concept, we get some views.
Yeah.
But whenever we put some move, like me and Joseph, we used to film moves, and I would say, I've never done this in real sparring. And he would like, me neither. But then like we have 10,000 people watching it, you know? So people like watching flashy things, but I never teach flashy things. Like if you go to my gym, I never teach my white belts how to do leg locks, for example. I'm like, you need to know a lot of things. I tell everyone, if you can't escape mount, you don't need to know how to do a heel hook.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's useless for you.
Yeah.
You know, you are not there yet. You cannot walk. I cannot teach you how to run. But all my top guys, they are very good at leg locking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, or like some other stuff as well. I'm like, if you don't know how to do a double leg takedown, you don't need this, you
Right.
know? So there's a priority list. I tell them, you need to learn these first, and then these, and then these. So even if they want to learn, I tell them, yeah,
No.
okay, go watch and learn by
No.
yourself. I will
Okay.
not teach it in the class.
Yeah.
Because I test people as well, especially when people think like they need to get the next belt.
Yeah.
I find the toughest lower belt,
Yeah.
put them against them,
Right.
and then get them smashed.
Yeah.
And I say, well, maybe
Yeah. Maybe you know a little bit.
maybe wait
Yeah.
a little bit, yeah.
But that doesn't get people.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care if people don't train with me. I always say, just paying it's not enough to be a member here.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be a good person,
Oh, that's
good
great.
student. I don't care. I don't need your money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really hope what's it called now?
Method. MMA. Yeah.
I really hope it stays like that.
It will.
Yeah.
It will.
I've seen so many gyms that fuck up. You know, they just do the flashy thing. The trend is that way.
So the new owner
Mm-hmm.
is my friend Alex.
Okay.
He's not here for financial gain. He doesn't need
Mm-hmm.
the money from this gym. Of course, we don't want it to lose money, but we are not gonna go after and do crazy shit just to make money. And also the new coach, I don't know if you know Boris.
Yes. I met Boris at Old Absolute.
Yeah, Boris, I love Boris.
Yeah.
He's like one of the best guys I've met here in Shanghai. I really like him.
Boris, I'm glad that it's Boris because I remember warming up with Boris and being like, I can't believe we're still training after this. You know? That's
many
wild.
people said that actually.
That was crazy. I remember specifically that. But then I also went to Shi Yujing's class. Same thing at Cherry Bomb. And he was told to stop doing that. He was told at one of the, not the main branch, but one of the sub branches at Cherry Bomb, he was like, don't do that warm up anymore because people are quitting because of that warm up. And I remember that warm up. I brought a friend and he threw up. He was fit and he threw up and he was like, I can't go back, and never came back.
I
And,
think,
yeah.
but back then Boris was teaching once a week.
Yes.
So if you teach once a week, and people do need cardio once or twice
Agreed.
a week. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for example, if he's teaching every evening, you can't do that every evening. He's against that too. I actually remember him talking to me about this. He's really he thinks like the warm up needs to be like drill for whatever we are working on.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He thinks like this too, but
Yeah.
we also think. I don't like the idea. Like I used to think like, okay, my cardio is just rolling. Rolling is shit for cardio. Okay,
Agreed.
you need to see red lights. You need to be like, oh my god, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
You remember we had this UFC competition, UFC
Yes.
5 versus 5.
Yes.
After
The
that, quintet.
Yeah.
And I did a training camp for Li Jingliang.
Yeah.
Before that training camp, I did 2 months of strength and conditioning. That plan was done by my friend Gavin from UFC PI.
I know that. Yeah.
So I was like, I have never been that fit in my life.
Yeah.
After 1 month
Yeah.
of 4 days a week, I was like, I didn't know I could be this fit.
Yeah.
I went to PI, and the professional fighters were saying, why this guy doesn't get tired?
Yeah.
I was like a beast, you know? And then I noticed, man, I never had good cardio because what I did, all those air bikes,
Yep.
I had 4 different kinds of cardio.
Mhm.
I did not know there were this many different things, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was like super strong, super like, I had incredible cardio. Now
Mhm.
I say, okay, rolling is not enough for cardio. So you
Yeah.
really do need something. If you're competing, you need good cardio.
Mhm.
So, but not every day.
Yeah.
I think technique first, but if you're gonna compete, you need to start
Mhm.
doing cardio.
Yeah. All right. I guess this is kind of the goodbye episode. Is there anything else you want to say to everyone else? kind of as like a closing message. Don't cry. I'm not gonna cry.
Be nice.
Yeah, be nice.
I said this yesterday in the event as well. My father told me, lose everything. You can lose everything, but you can never lose people's trust.
Mm.
Never lose people's trust.
I like that.
Never, like, try to, for short time gain, don't screw people.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just whatever life throws at you, I think you can get through it. You can grow and never, like, don't give up, you know. Find something what gives you fulfillment, do it, and whatever you do, try to be best at it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just accept being mediocre at anything. I think that's the way to happiness as well. And just,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
for me,
Mm.
like, find what gives you fulfillment and do it very good. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, that gives you happiness.
All right. That's it. It was really glad. I was really happy to be your friend. I'm still gonna be your friend when you're gone.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. And you ever gonna come back? Maybe.
I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm planning to. If they tell me I will get deported from Australia in a year because of my politically incorrect jokes.
Oh yeah, I heard
But-
about that. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm planning to come back,
Okay.
but let's see. Especially if there is no quarantine,
Great.
I will most likely come back twice
Awesome.
a year.
Oh, twice a year.
Yeah.
That's a good amount.
Yeah, once, twice.
Okay. Good. So
I
this
still
won't
have
be-
an online job going, online
Right.
business going on.
Yeah, that's so important. I mean, we were talking about that. You know, Gordon Ryan's doing, passive income so important. It's good to have that.
Yeah.
I hope it works out. Everyone go check out the
Method Online. Yeah.
Method Online
WeChat
Mini-Program.
Mini-Program.
Okay. That's it. I will catch you maybe in a year. I hope. All right. Bye, everyone.
Do 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 do.